of our diversity, the equality that is not negotiable in Victoria under this government. Every Victorian should feel safe, should feel valued, should feel included for being just who they are, no matter, their gender, their race, their ethnicity, their sexuality. In this year, in 2016, equality is not negotiable in Victoria, and I am just so very proud to be here again for the second year running. It is a powerful statement that things are a little different in Victoria under this government, and they're different for all the right reasons. All of us can be proud to be the progressive capital of our nation, and as important as words are, as important as sentiments and symbols are, deeds are pretty important too. And that's why throughout last year we worked very hard to expunge the criminal convictions of those men who had been shamefully convicted of gay sex acts. That was a very dark part of our history. We decriminalised appropriately in 1980, and we've moved to right that wrong, to correct the record, to make our state fairer and to do the right thing by those many hundreds of men. It's now time for us to take a further step, and that is to offer a formal apology to those men for the way they were treated, and that will occur on the 24th of May on the floor of the Victorian Parliament, and I will be very proud to lead that formal apology, making good, putting this right in the most powerful way in the People's House, sending the strongest message that we are sorry that was a dark chapter in our state's history, and that we are better than that. Better than that. In fact, we are the progressive capital of our nation. This is a great day. It's always a very special day. This is a uniquely Victorian occasion, and it's so good to be here as the leader of our state, celebrating all that makes us different and special. That is, different and special as a state. We are diverse, we're inclusive, we are respectful, we are proud, and that's something that just makes this such a special day. I'm now happy to take any questions you might have.
Why do you feel it's important to have the apology on the record?
Well, look, I think it's important two things. Firstly, that we get off the record, that is, expunge the criminal convictions that many men have had to live with for far too long. It was shameful that our laws prohibited and turned those activities into crimes. It's not criminal behaviour, it's simply wrong to be treated that way. Many men have had to live with the difficulties of those criminal records for a very long period of time. We're making good on that, but beyond that, for those who perhaps won't seek to have their records expunged or can't, for whatever reason that might be, it's just the appropriate time for us as a community to say that was wrong, we're going to put this right, we are deeply sorry, and we're going to say so. And I think that, all too often we take far too long to do the right thing. This is one of those occasions where we can put this right and again send the most powerful message that every Victorian should feel safe, should feel valued, should feel included and respected for being just who they are. And of course, whilst this is an important step, there's been a few other important steps taken throughout 2015, and this year will be no different. The adoption equality commitments we made at the election delivered in full. In terms of Rowena Allen having been appointed into her special role, keeping all of us honest and looking for the next chapter of reform. Martin, who does such a great job, a strong advocate, Australia's first equality minister. The list goes on and on. The Safe Schools Task Force, lots of different programs, lots of different reform, all of which designed to send the most powerful message and to provide practical action. In furtherance of that goal, we ought to be, and we will be again, the progressive capital of our nation. That's our role, and if not Melbourne and Victoria, then who? This is an important part of our role and the leadership that we offer.
And the theme of today's march, obviously marriage equality. Can we expect anything from Victoria in terms of...
Well, this needs to be done properly, and that means the Marriage Act needs to be changed, and that is an act of the Federal Parliament. I tell you what, though, I think Australians are getting pretty sick and tired of this notion that we'll have a plebiscite and Australians will basically decide the matter. And I've seen some politicians in the federal government saying that, whilst at the same time other members of Parliament in the government are saying, well, that won't matter. It won't matter what the Australian community says. They'll still search their conscience, so-called, to uphold discrimination. That is simply wrong. Discrimination is wrong in any form. Equality is not negotiable, and it is not for any politician to tell people who they can marry, how they can express their love. It is not for any politician to tell people in our community that their relationship is secondary or not of as much value as mine or theirs. That's just wrong. So this notion that you can have a bob each way, we'll have a plebiscite and pretend that the Australian community is going to decide this matter, and I'm confident they'll decide it in the right way, and then have conservative politicians, many of whom hold completely abhorrent views, then saying, well, that won't matter. We'll vote our conscience, so-called. The right thing to do is to drag the Marriage Act into the 21st century like so many other parts of the world have. That's what we need, and that'll only come with national leadership. Any other questions? If not, thank you all very much. Happy Pride.
Thank you very much.
Who they are. It's just be yourself. That's good enough. That's enough. No more, no less. And that's what Pride is all about, and that's why I'm here with Kat for the second year in a row, and we'll be here next year and the year after that, because it is very important that all of us as leaders in the community celebrate the fact that we are the inclusive and progressive capital of our nation.
And this time the marriage equality is the theme of the Pride March. What do you think about that?
Well, these are matters for the Federal Parliament, but the sooner the Federal Parliament gets on and delivers the marriage equality that so many Australians want and that every Australian deserves, the better. And I just hope we're not getting confused with some federal politicians talking about a plebiscite and Australians deciding, and other politicians saying that that won't matter, that won't be good enough for them. They'll still vote their so-called conscience. Ultimately, it's not for politicians to devalue one set of relationships. I'll put it to you this way. Marriage equality doesn't devalue or impact in any way my marriage to Catherine and her marriage to me. It in fact says to me and to our kids that we live in an inclusive, progressive, respectful, modern nation. That ought to be something to celebrate, not something to be afraid of.
Would you like to see Malcolm Turnbull turn up here today?
Oh, look, I'm very proud. I'm very proud to be here today, and I'd encourage everyone else to be here too. Thanks very much. It's a very important step.
General interest just comes.
It's going to work for a bit. It's good. It's all right. It's nice.
You're the only bloke in this job I've noticed getting younger.
That's what I'm trying. You good?
Impressive. Yeah, really good. Very good. Start up on Parliament starts Tuesday for us. Of course. The education announcement has gone down well.
Very nice.
Yes.
That's what we need to do. Put money in rather than cut it out.
And those level crossings are proceeding at a good pace.
They are going on at a cracking pace.
Very
a cracking pace. I might give you a ring a bit later on the day.
You're right, mate. Cheers. See you.
Cheers. Okay, where are we headed?
I think today is a fantastic day because the importance of equality and everyone having the equal rights they deserve is extremely important. Me personally, I think it's to be there for my friends who have all different types of sexualities and identify maybe differently from the genitals they were born with. It's fantastic that they have somewhere to express themselves.